Alright, welcome my dear YouTube friends. I got a surprise video for you today, and the reason being is we are at a store that's not available anywhere else in the United States, so you'll only find this store in southeast Florida to be precise. And this shop is called BrandSmart, and we're going to look at the economic crisis prices, because these prices, BrandSmart is very competitive. Their prices are lower than that of Best Buy or anywhere else, or they can match it and beat it and so forth. So I have purchased some, had some really good deals in the past with BrandSmart. But let's start off with this premium OLED TV. So this is $15.49, and you'll notice that this is a 65-inch television, and it's going to be cheaper than Best Buy. So this is the S90C, and it's offered at $15.49. Of course, even this price is negotiable. These guys like to negotiate. Here's a small little budget Samsung television, bargain price for only $577. Here's another budget for only $796. You're gonna get this LG R9000 75-inch television for only $796. Alright, we're gonna move on. There's so many televisions on display here. This store is like no other. You will not find so many televisions on display in no other store, to be honest with you. So here we go. Let's start off with this budget television. Huge television, $399 for a 65-inch Sharp television. I didn't know they were still in the business, but it appears that they are. Here's a Samsung for $399. Now, as you can see, guys, you can get a really nice television for a very good deal. So here's a scratch and dent television for only $499. This is a massive 75-inch Philips television. It has scratch and dent. Here's one for $799, and this is huge. This thing looks like an 85-inch, yeah. So this is the Hisense 7H series. So this is the Hisense, a massive 85-inch television for only $800, guys. That's a bargain right there. All these ones up there are bargains. You know, $400, $589, and look at the picture quality. They're very good picture quality too, especially the Hisense. This one's a 75-inch UQ, and it's only $589. So this particular store does sell some other brands, because a lot of tourists come here too. So they do stock Philips and Sharp, whereas Best Buy would not. You would never see a Philips or a Sharp television. But so we're gonna slowly move on to the slightly more expensive of offers here. And this $1,000 television is the U75U7 series. So that's a pretty high-end model. And unbelievable, guys. So the 75-inch U7 series, the K, being the latest 23 model, it's 144 Hertz. It's got AMD FreeSync, and this is the Hisense for only $1,000 now. So you can pick this television up for $1,000. It was like $12.99, $13.99. You got the Nano LG here for only $770. A whopping 75-inch television for $770. And it's the Nano 75. Now here's a relatively expensive one, QNED. I don't know why LG keeps these prices up still. This is the QNED by LG, QNED 75, or rather 85. It's $1,800, so that's a little too expensive. Here's another one for $1,500, another 75-inch television. And this one looks like it's the Samsung 75 Q80. So that's a medium spec television. You got the 75 QN95 here for $1,600. So these prices have dropped considerably On top of this price, you can bargain another $100 off it maybe. They let you, and the good news is it's 0 interest for 36 months, guys. You can't beat that, as you can see. Best Buy does not offer that. They don't offer 36 months. They'll do 12, 24. So that's that. So this is the 85-inch U8000, another budget TV from Samsung. This one's $1,400. If you're looking at big screens, this is a pretty good quality. As you can see, the picture quality is not too shabby. And the side viewing angles on some of these televisions aren't that great. This being an LED, as you can see, no bueno there. So you have some YouTubers claiming that Sharp's not in the USA. Well, they are. They just don't know where to go because they only know Best Buy and you know, a few other stores. But they don't know about BrandSmart. So you can actually get a mega high-end, as you can see, a premium design monolith brushed aluminum. And this is a Sharp 75-inch Sharp premium full array LED TV. Alright, so here guys, you have a side-by-side Q60 on the left and a Q70 Samsung 85-inch on the right. And the price difference is $300 exactly. Is it worth the $300? It's difficult to say. Now, they deliberately don't put it on the same picture, identical at the same time, synchronized. I guess they have their reasons. And then on top you got the Samsung QN65-inch N95C. So you got the 60, the 70 and the 85 on top. Here we have what looks to be... Sorry for all the background noise, guys, because we chose a bad day. It was a busy day today. It's a weekend, wasn't a planned visit, but this is the... So this is a Samsung ATC, an 85-inch Q80C for $1,900. So, you know, these prices are going to drop down further. But it's nice to see all these televisions side by side, so you can pay. So you got the 70C, the 60, the 70, and the 80. I don't know why Samsung offers like, all these manufacturers got to stop doing this nonsense, man. Too many different models. Just put out 2 or 3 different models and be done with it. Like they got like 50 different models. I mean, I don't know. They're really milking it. So you won't be able to see this at Best Buy, guys. So this is the LG QNED 80 on the bottom, and the QNED 85. I believe it's their top model, fully backlit LED. The one on the bottom is $1,900. So this one at top has to be in the region of $2,100. And that's an 86-inch. And so is the one at the bottom. So you do get an extra inch as opposed to the Samsung and Sony and Hisense. They do the 85. But LG has an edge on this. They do offer it an extra inch. An inch is an inch. It makes a big difference when you put it up on your wall. So bear that in mind when making a choice. So here we're coming to the Hisense booth, and look how wonderful the Hisense booth is here. In fact, you have couches to sit on and actually observe these screens as if you were at home. And we got all the Hisense models under the sun here. And let's start off with the $1,000 Hisense, and this is no other than the one and only, probably the most famous and the most popular, the best-selling television on the planet. It outsells Samsung and any other manufacturer. It's the Hisense U8. The award-winning 2023 65-inch can be purchased for only $9.99 now, guys, as you can see. So this is the desired, the much appreciated television from Hisense that does it all. Can't beat that, guys. For $1,000, that's a steal right there. And here we have the 75-inch on the right hand side, and the 75-inch is now $1,300. So these are the top offerings from Hisense. Yeah, that seems like a really good deal. The U6 up there is only $380, guys. That's for all of you, all those people who are looking for a really nice all-rounder, not fantastic, but all-rounder television, and you're on a budget. For $380, you can't beat this 65-inch U6 Hisense up there. And even cheaper, you got the A6. So for all those enthusiasts who are not that picky, those are the ones available. And look at, here's a top model from Sharp, a full LED, fully backlit, full array. It's $1,500. So Sharp. But it does look like it's a more premium television, so the build quality does look better than the Hisense. The plastic molding and the aluminum and the metal steel trim around it definitely looks far more premium on the Sharp. But all the Sharp televisions are off for some reason. That's another, you know, kind of weird thing. And the 65-inch Hisense U series is now the U7 series available for only $750. And I think down below we have the U7K, and it's the 55. That's only $600. Now we're coming to some more expensive offerings here. At the bottom you have the Sony X85K. There you go. The X85K. And that's a 75-inch television. Up here we got the 93L. So this is like top of the dog's bollocks. The 93L is Sony's most premium offering, and it's $2,500. Now what I'm going to do for you guys is compare this top-notch Sony. Let's look at the side viewing angles. So this is the most expensive mini LED TV offered by Sony. It's got the backlight master drive. It does look premium though, I gotta admit. So when you compare this to a Hisense, it's like apples to oranges. Like one of them is like a Bentley Rolls Royce. The Hisense, obviously, it's gonna have a much lower build quality. So that's the 75-inch. Let's go to the Hisense 75-inch here. As you can see, yeah, totally different. And the price difference is actually $1,000. You could probably bargain, get it down to $1,000. The price difference is actually $1,100. Now, is the Sony $1,000 better looking than the Hisense? No way, Jose. It's not. Picture wise, it's not $1,000 better looking. The Hisense is just as bright, just as accurate, just as vibrant to the naked eye, that is. If you're looking at some premium features, and if you're very a picky person and you have a higher budget and a thicker wallet, and you don't really, price is no object to you, yeah, you would definitely get the Sony. A Sony is always going to be a Sony. And no, it's not the same thing. Look at the craftsmanship and the paneling and just the frame. The parts that go into it is definitely not like a Hisense. Let me get a close up to you guys. So this is a Hisense, you know what I mean? As I said, one of them is a Kia and the other one is a Bentley Rolls Royce. So that's why you pay more money for it. And people always say, Sony is always more expensive, and yes, the picture quality will be better than Hisense. Maybe not $1,100 better, but it is of course better as far as accuracy and color accuracy, vibrancy, and all the other hoopla is concerned. But that was a comparison for you guys, so you can tell that the Hisense side viewing angles are not as good as the Sony. Here's the Sony, and there's the Hisense over there. So that's one thing to note. But I spent more time on this because it is Sony's top model as far as their mini LED lineup is concerned. Here we have the 77L. Again, this is stuck on some Android menu because the Sony is an Android television, Google television rather. We're not getting any demos here, so I will not be wasting any time on that. But up here we have another LED, and this is the 90L, so a lower model, which is very popular. It's one of their budget LED offerings, and it performs really well, judging by some of the detailed professional reviewers on YouTube. Definitely this television for the price does perform very well, and this thing has dropped down to 1698, and it's a whopping 75 inches. So that's something to consider. That's what I would consider. So it would be a fight between this. You would not compare this. This is a far higher end television with the Hisense. It's no comparison. But this price you can compare with the. So for only a $300 more, I personally might consider this. I would need to take a closer look. But you know, the processor in the Sony is going to be better than the Hisense U8 processor. So that's one thing to consider. I mean, here's the deal. You got a Kia, and if someone offers you a lower trim Bentley, which one you're going to get? You're going to get the lower trim Bentley Rolls-Royce over the top trim of a Kia Hyundai. You know what I mean? It's like that. Think of it that way. So, you know, if it's one of them is a Gucci bag, the other one is a Kenneth Cole bag. It's not the same thing, and that's why, you know, you pay what you pay for the Sony. It's for the name, of course, but it's also the build quality and the craftsmanship. So even though this is a mid-tier, look at the craftsmanship, look at the build quality, the plastic molding, you know, the buttons, and I'm sure some of the components inside, the electronic components, are without a doubt of higher end. Higher tier is what we call in the electronics industry. You have higher tier chipsets. You have a Qualcomm and you have a Qualcomm, and Sony tends to use the higher end chips and the RAM as far as their components are concerned. So enough gibberish on the Sony and Hisense comparison, but I'm just trying to give you an idea, you know, a realistic notion. And here we have another 93L, and this thing's $1,800. Now, I do feel that the Sony is a little overpriced. I think it's about 30%, maybe 20-30% overpriced. But at this point, it's up to you. If you're a die-hard Sony fan and you want nothing but the best, then you're gonna have to, you know, it's like Subaru fans. You know, you get die-hard Subaru fans who will always buy Subarus. Up top you got the A80L, and at the bottom you have their top of the range. That's not their top of the range OLED, but the one at the bottom is their top of the. In my humble opinion, I would go for the LED, and reason being is the brightness. And the brightness is extremely important. So I would go for the mini LED. So here we have another comparison. You've got the X90L, again at a 65 inch, and here we have another premium X90L at what I think is an 85, whopping 85 inch. So those of you looking for a nice, beautiful nice, well-performing, high-end, fully backlit LED television is going to be the Sony. That's a whopping 85 inches. If you own a sports bar, this is the one to get. And just to show you how large this store is and what they are offering, it's unbelievable. Here we have the top of the line LG lineups here. We have a 65-inch C3. So this is their top of the line OLED, as you can see. And in the middle, it seems they got the 77-inch of the same C3. There's a 65-inch QN95. I think it's their top of the line fully backlit LED, but as you well know, no one favors the LG mini LED TVs too much. Now these are all high-end, expensive ones. Yeah, so this is their top of the line G3, that's wall mounted only. And then here we have a 65-inch S95C series Samsung, top of the line. It's their OLED, quantum OLED, as you know. And then at the bottom we have another Samsung QLED the Q80C. To be precise, yeah, this is the 80C 65 Q80C at $1249. That's $2,500. So that's still expensive, oh guys. 65-inch top of the line 2023 S95C is $2,500. And you got another premium QLED, their highest offering QN90C in the middle here, and that's offered at $1,900. And then we got the Samsung QN800C. Of course, as you know, this is their 8K QLED 8K television, and it's $2,500 for only a 65-inch, but it is 8K, and that's what you're paying for. Here we have a new Neo QLED QN90C for $1,600. And this is a very expensive television, a 75-inch QN95L. It's available at $3,000. That's fairly expensive. QN65 75L. Interesting. Alright guys, so we're gonna wrap this up slowly. So we got the in a like a house setting here, we got the LG OLED C3 here on display, and this is their, let's take it. Alright, if you want to see what the 83-inch LG, alright guys, so this will give you a more realistic view of what an 83-inch OLED looks like in your room. There you go. I didn't want to be rude, I hate this background noise, so I don't want to be rude, but I will say STFU politely. And then here's another beautiful television, and this thing is only $2,000, and this is a 77-inch, so this is a 77C3. And if you wanted a theater-like seating in your house, that's another $1,500, as you can see. But that is a 77-inch, and over there you have a 83-inch LG OLED. And here is the, I guess, the 83-inch G series, and that's a whopping $5,100. Is it worth it? No, I think I would rather go for Probably like a Hisense that's offered at 100 inches, which is a far better deal for only $3,000. That's a steal. I'd rather go for a 100-inch than an 83-inch OLED. Even if it was the same price, I would go for the 100-inch television. But that's what the 83G looks like on your wall. And we are slowly going to wrap it up, guys. This was a relatively long video. I hope you enjoyed it, because this gives you a very realistic idea of what these televisions would look like in your room. And you saw many side-by-side comparisons, and you saw the latest prices for the month ending February 2024. And these are the utmost bargain prices you can find, the cheapest ones and the best deals, of course. And here's a cute little Sony television, what appears to be a Sony for $1,200, but I believe that's very expensive. It's the 75L series. I don't know why it's so expensive. So it is a nice looking TV, but it's overpriced in my humble opinion, especially in this economy. Yep, so this is the one and only LG, the G3, $2,600 at 65 inches. So that's the best looking television you're going to get if you're looking at all round high end, and the best cosmetically pleasing to the eye is going to be the G3. Alright guys, so give me a thumbs up. My channel's not monetized yet. I don't think it'll ever be, but I'll be grateful. You know, if you give me a thumbs up, it helps out with the logarithms, statistics. And this is Random Vlogs. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.